Who is the chairman of GAMHelp? GAMHelp, of course, was constituted under the East Africa Center for Responsible Gambling, which forms our conversation for today, responsible gambling. Thank you very much, Joseph, for giving us the time right here on Channel 1's Sports Check. Now, maybe we've had many conversations surrounding betting, but really, even in the recent past, you've heard of gaming firms, talking about let's do one and two, so and so to, of course, promote, safe betting, responsible gambling.
Yes.
But we've not really had tangible evidence that indeed these gaming firms have been doing that. So maybe we'll get into that conversation later, but kindly just brief us, give us a brief description and the history of GAMHelp.
Yes. East Africa Center for Responsible Gambling, operating under the brand name GAMHelp, is a non-profit organization founded in 2018. We have 4 mandates. That is, we offer responsible gaming education. We also offer free help for people suffering from problem gambling, or what most people call gambling addiction. We also do research and inform policy, and we also lobby for policies that ensure a safe gambling environment.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, maybe in your words, according to the organization, what was the reason behind the constitution? Of course, you guys coming up with this initiative under the East Africa Center for Responsible Gambling.
We have been operating substance use rehabs for a very long time. And we realized that most of our patients who are presenting with substance use disorders also had problem gambling. So we sat down and decided to come up with an initiative that would offer free help to the public on the issue of problem gambling. Yes. And
what can you say maybe is the correlation, the relationship between the two? As you've said before, you used to do substance abuse, I'm guessing even alcohol abuse and whatnot. But what's the relation? Because I do understand that, people who are prone to gambling also, it's as a result of something else. Maybe it might be depression, might be anxiety. So what's the relationship according to you guys, and how do you approach it?
First of all addictive disorders fall in one category. And they follow the same brain chemistry. So what that means is, for a person suffering from problem gambling, there is some relationship with the person suffering from substance use disorders. And also, there are also other mental health conditions, something such as anxiety disorders, that also contribute to people engaging in the addictive behaviors. Yes. Okay,
and as we all know, of course, not everyone is prone to gambling, or rather, well, can't say that's that's a fact. I can't say that for a fact, but
yeah.
But then again, maybe for you guys, before you start the treatment, maybe what are some of the things that you look out for to actually tell that this guy is prone to gambling and and the likes?
Yes, only a very few people fall into problem gambling, and as I have said, these are people with some underlying conditions. Most of them have underlying conditions. So we do take them through a criteria, or through assessment, mental health assessment, where they fill in questionnaires, and we identify patterns that suggest that they have problem gambling. Now, if you visit our website, you'll find there are those tests to determine if someone is suffering from problem gambling. If someone takes the test and then we perceive them to have problem gambling, then we refer them for an in-depth mental health assessment. And then after that, we decide the form of therapy that they are to take. There are those that we offer e-therapy. E-therapy is a form of online counseling, and there are those that have to come for outpatient services, so that is one-to-one services, and there are those that have to be rehabilitated, or inpatient rehabilitation. And now for those that go for inpatient, they mostly have underlying conditions, and one of the biggest is substance use disorders. Yes.
Okay. Not so long ago, I was actually at one of your functions, of course, and a certain one of the local betting firms, gaming firms in the country. And as you addressed the crowd, of course, you spoke about, you mentioned that there are symptoms, that can drive you besides the tests you've mentioned?
Yes.
So maybe what example? Do you mind giving us examples of the symptoms that you were talking about?
Absolutely.
2 weeks ago.
So we determine problem gambling using a criteria offered through the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders. This is a booklet that is used worldwide to help diagnose mental health problems. Gambling addiction is recognized as gambling disorder, as a behavioral disorder, and there is a criteria for mental health experts to determine if someone is suffering from gambling addiction. If I may mention a few of the symptoms,
yeah, sure.
as you put them.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
There are people who will gamble when they have some problem. They are emotionally deprived, or they have some emotional problems. For instance, if someone has anxiety or they have something that have gone wrong, they run to betting as to cover up or to blenden the pain of their emotional state.
Coping mechanisms.
Yeah,
and whatnot.
that is a coping mechanism. There are also those who, another thing is, for most problem gamblers, they are likely to gamble with huge amounts of money. And you'll find the more the money that they gamble with, the more the thrill. Again, there is a feel that they want to hide their gambling behavior. They don't want to let their families know that they have this problem. There are those that go to the extreme of stealing in order to satisfy their gambling habit. And again, these people mostly don't gamble to win. They gamble for the thrill. Another thing, if they make a loss, they do what we call chasing losses. They want to gamble again to recover from that loss, and then the cycle goes on and
continues,
on.
yeah.
Yes, because as they say, the house always wins.
The house always wins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and speaking of the treatment, maybe kindly just walk us through the steps. How do you treat gambling addiction?
Now, gambling addiction, the treatment process is the same with that of substance use disorders. We take them through the 12 stages, and again, we also apply
12 stages.
Yeah, there's 12 stages of addiction. It's a program that takes up to 3 months, but then it depends with the severity and also the willingness of the person.
Yeah.
The person going through the treatment. The program can take from 3 months, 6 months, up to 1 year. Yes.
Okay, up to 1 year.
Up to 1 year.
And
depending with the comorbidities or the co-occurring conditions.
Okay.
Yes.
And how willing are people to, actually go through with this? Because I do understand, as you mentioned, chasing losses. I'm guessing for those people, it's actually hard to come to terms that you've lost. So it's a never-ending cycle once again. But how do you actually help someone, just, let's say, quit the whole thing? Because and are there follow-up programs to ensure that indeed it has been treated or it has been, controlled?
Yes, we do follow up. And now, for immediately after taking the 12 steps, we also put these people under some tests, and we also take them through money management education, and we do at least monthly follow-ups to know how they are faring on. Yes. Okay,
and I do understand that you also work with, let's say, partners, even gaming firms, betting firms.
Yeah.
But then again, how does that relationship work? Because, I mean, if I own a betting firm, why would I need you to come in and partner with me when, I'm assuming that's the idea behind it.
Yeah.
Why would I, partner with you? And in the real sense, are you afraid that maybe the relationship between Gamhelp and your partners might be compromised because they still want to make profit?
Yeah. There is a very big misconception, especially in Kenya, in less developed gaming markets, where they see responsible gaming as anti-gambling. And for us, we are not anti-gambling. We're coming in to help the small part of the population that may fall into problem due to problem gambling. Now, for gaming companies to be sustainable or to survive for long, they have to take care of this at-risk player. Because if they don't take care of this at-risk player, then this person will gamble, they will reach to an end, and they won't gamble again. And again, there are negative social misconceptions, which will build which would be built against the gambling industry if there are a lot of problem gamblers who have not gotten help. In developed markets like in the UK, responsible gaming is a critical component of the industry. And as I said, it's a social sustainability measure. If you want to operate in this market for long, if you want to survive and make money in this market, you have to take care of the people who may fall into problem when doing what you do. And as I said, this is a very small percentage. There is a study by Geopol which shows that 57% of Kenyans above age 18 gamble. 47 of these are not regular gamblers. They are what we call light gamblers. Then there is 10% which comprises of these people who gamble more than once per day. Now, in this 10%, this is where you'll find problem gamblers. And this is the target market for us. These are the people that we target. These are the people that we want to help. Because actually the outcome of gambling addiction is devastating for this population. We've handled clients who were almost committing suicide. There are those that have committed suicide before they reached to us or we reached them. And so there are those that have divorced, others have stolen money to go and gamble and they've been fired and taken to court. So it's a very serious problem. And for a responsible company, for a gaming operator that cares about their customers, they should take it as an important component of what they do.
Okay, and now with your partners, they do understand your role is responsible gambling oversight.
Yes.
So maybe are there any campaigns that we can talk about that you guys have actually spearheaded and that we can see the progress so far?
Yes. We have what we call a responsible gaming week. This is a
responsible gaming week.
Yes. This is a period when we do intensive outreach. We hold street campaigns and we also do a lot of social media marketing. And we also offer some other services to reach out to the at-risk population. That also includes substance use screening. And also subsidizing our cost, because on the side of substance use, we're not at least to the level where you can offer it for free. So when we offer these services as a comprehensive package, we see a lot of people reaching out saying they have maybe substance use, but they've also been gambling and they think it's a problem, but they think the substance use is the biggest problem. Yes.
And can you say that the organization is it only focused on Nairobi, or have you made let's say inroads so far all over the country? Because we do understand out of the 57% you said,
yes,
I'm sure not all of them are from not even Nairobi, just metropolitan areas.
Yes, we have a nationwide outreach. First of all, we are registered as a non-profit under the Ministry of Interior, so that means that we have that extensive reach. And again, as I said, we have a call center, and this call center caters, it operates for 24/7, and it caters for people all over Kenya. We've not started doing the street campaigns outside Nairobi, and that is because we are still resource constrained, but we are hoping to be able to reach there. We've also partnered with other rehabilitation centers outside Nairobi, and we use them as our referral points for cases that can't be handled through e-therapy.
Okay.
Yes.
And for once again for the 57% of the less established gamblers, because not long ago, I think late last year, I was reading somewhere that there were at that time there were actually around 12 million accounts on these betting firms, and more than 500,000 of Kenyan youths have gotten into betting. So maybe for you guys, you've been doing even rehabilitation of those who are addicted to substances, alcohol, whatnot. But then again, at what point? What are the factors besides the the normal ones you've mentioned, anxiety and depression? So maybe what do you think is the major contribution to gambling addiction here in Kenya, especially?
Yes, and as I have said, gambling addiction in general, it follows the same brain chemistry. there are people with certain traits that make them prone to addiction. This is not gambling addiction only or substance use addiction only. There are people who can get addicted to sex because of their brain chemistry. There are people who can get addicted to eating. And brain chemistry is not the only contributing factor. There is also, of course, peer influence. And there is also some other factors. But now, for us to be able to deal with this person who is suffering from problem gambling in a right way, we have to offer a holistic package. We have to look at them holistically. And as I have said, these are people who have something inside them that is making them prone to gambling. There are a lot of people who gamble, but for some people, it's a problem. For most people, it's not a problem. Yes.
Can you say that most of the problem gamblers can you say that it's an economic thing?
No. Gambling should not be an economic thing. That is for the problem, for the gambler. There are companies that are advertising it as an economic thing, and that is one of the major contributing factors to gambling addiction. So gambling for the player, it should be a leisure activity. People should not gamble to win. They should not gamble to become rich. You can win, but you can never become rich through gambling.
Through gambling.
Yes.
And I do understand that. Apologies. I do understand that. What I meant is from the victims, let's say not victim, let's say for the addict, from the addict's perspective.
Yes.
Is it maybe economical issues that maybe drive them to this, or even social factors, have a part to play?
No. We've done a study as Gamhelp. The biggest percentage of people who fall into problem gambling are people earning between 20,000 and 100,000. That is around 67.8%. That is from we've been offering problem gambling treatment since 2018. Right now, we've handled around 480 cases. 67.8% of those people who have come to us for help are people who earn between 20,000 and 50,000. Most gamble up to 30,000. Actually, 30,000 is the average amount. So I wouldn't say that this is something that is affecting the unemployed much. It's because for someone who is economically unstable, most of them you'll find they'll gamble for the first time, the second time, it's not working, and they exit. But for someone who is earning a certain amount of money, and they will have something to motivate them to get into gambling, because they have the economic capacity or capability. So I don't think it's something that is economically tied. Of course, there are studies that show that poor people tend to gamble more, and they can also fall into gambling more. But I guess in our country, that is actually not what is happening from the data that we have.
And for let's say for the responsible gambling education, maybe you did mention about initiatives that you've been pushing through the streets, out there in the streets, but is it also things that you're aiming at taking to, let's say, institutions, even schools? Because we have even university students who are gambling away their fees and whatnot.
Yes. There are initiatives that do that, and we collaborate with them. And once again, as I mentioned, if we have the financial capacity, we would at least penetrate each and every section. We'd go into universities, we do the street campaigns. Yes, I believe there are a lot of things that we can do to educate the public.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, for now, for the viewers, we shall be digressing a bit to the coast region, whereby, of course, preparations and so far for the updates in regards to the Msambweni by-election. Let's have a listen into that kindly first.
Good morning, Munga. We are coming to you live from Ukunda. This is Ukunda. This year it is where there will be a tallying center, but this is Msambweni in Kwale County, where there is a by-election as tomorrow on 15th. But here we are at the Dr. Babla Secondary School. This is where the tallying center will be. And currently the returning officer, that is Mr. Yusuf Abubakar, and the Kwale County Elections Manager, that is Madam Nelly Ilongo, will be briefing us us in a few on the arrangements regarding this by-election. But currently, right behind me are ballot boxes. We are waiting to be briefed on how they will be distributed. And of course, security is on course. Security here, security officers are here. There's nothing to worry about security. But as it goes in Msambweni by-election, remember they are coming into a by-election. This is after the death of the then Member of Parliament, Mr. Suleiman Dori, who passed away sometimes in March. And Msambweni has 69,000 registered voters, and it boasts of its vast wards. And those wards are Ramisi, we have Kinondo Wada, we have Ukunda, and Bongwe Gombato. These are the 4 wards here in Msambweni where there is a by-election. And of course, there are 8 aspirants in this by-election, and these aspirants are Omar Idiboga of ODM, there is Sheikh Mahmoud of the Wiper Party, there is Hassan Mwakulonda of the Party of Economic Democracy, there is Marere wa Mwachai, National Vision Party, there is Hamisi Mwakaonje Liganje, who is vying through United Green Movement Party. Then there is Charles Bilali, who is an independent candidate. There's Mansuri Kumaka, who is also an independent candidate, and Faisal Abdallah Bader, who is also an independent candidate. And as things are now, on Saturday is when the campaigns came to an end on Saturday. Of course, they were heated campaigns with different aspirants having support from different political bigwigs. And talking about this race of 8 aspirants, but it seems as if I may put it so, it was narrowed down to 3 persons, and the persons of interest here are Omar Idiboga of the ODM party. Of course, there was a heated campaign. He was supported by the ODM party, of course, from county.
Well, of course, all the updates in regards to that shall be coming to you in a subsequent bulletins. Just to have a look at just some of the contestants. We've had Omar Boga, of course, and we have Charles Bilali of the Independent Party, who is running independently, really. Let's hear more from our correspondent, Mondiga.
So the campaigns came to an end on Saturday, and all the aspirants, what they were asking is there should be political tolerance, and of course these elections, let's ensure that they are free and fair, and of course no mudslinging, and of course hate speeches and bad mouthing of others. What is required now is just to be focused on this by-election, and as it stands now, the lady has already been wooed by different suitors, and it is a prerogative to decide who has her best interest at heart. And here I'm talking about the electorates from Msambweni. They have been wooed by different aspirants regarding taking the mantle. This is after the demise of the then MP Suleiman Dori. Of course, there has been leadership vacuum, and this time it has to be filled. This is according to the law. And as I've said it earlier on, the lady has been wooed by different suitors. It is her prerogative to decide who has her best interests at heart. And of course, the electorates in Msambweni, tomorrow they'll be making that decision. It is less than 48 hours. They'll be making that critical or a big decision, to be precise, on who will take the mantle to push them forward. As we know, here in Msambweni is in Kwale County. Kwale County is known as to be a tourist hub. Of course, there are mineral resources here. Fishing is also another thing. One of the economic activities by the people of Msambweni. So they are expecting who will be taking the person who will be taking the mantle to decide on pushing this economic agenda forward. Of course, matters education, girl child education to be precise here, because there have been cases earlier on of young girls being married, but now somebody to push that agenda to ensure that there is girl child education, and of course education for all. Tourism, it has to, somebody to ensure that we have to boost the tourism, because we have the resources. We have the hotels are here. One of the 5-star hotels are here. We have beautiful beaches, which of course they they are on the world map. So they need somebody, to be precise, somebody who will push the agenda forward. I've said matters education, matters tourism, matters agriculture, because this land is rich, and of course other things to ensure that this particular place is put on the national map as one of the places which is developed. And of course there are mineral resources, something which also needs to be looked into. And another thing which is thorn in the flesh is something to do with unemployment. So they're expecting whoever is going to take the mantle of leadership will ensure that issue to do with unemployment is dealt with, to ensure that all the youth in this place have something to do to ensure that they push forward in their daily life. So that's what we have for now here in Msambweni. Of course, I am just alluding to what I had said earlier on. This is Dr. Babla Secondary School. It is the Tallying Center. And in a matter of 5 minutes, we will be briefed by the County Elections Manager, Madam Nelly Longo, and the presiding officer, that is Mr. Yusuf Abubakar, will brief us on the distribution of the ballot boxes. And of course, as I tell you, as I had said earlier on, security is okay. We have police officers who are here, so security is well taken care of. There's nothing to worry about, and as things unfold, or as events unfold, we'll put you.
Well, of course, Omar Boga Marere, Omchai Charles Bilali, Mahmoud Sheikh, among others, those who are vying, of course, to be the next MP for Msambweni. This follows the death of former MP, that was Suleiman Dori, who died early this year. That was in March, as he was undergoing cancer treatment at the Aga Khan Hospital. Now, we shall be, of course, expecting more updates. We shall be bringing you more updates in a subsequent bulletins, and you can also log on to our website www.kbc.co.ke for more details on that, as well as other issues. Now, kindly, we're going to be getting back into talking about responsible gambling and treating gambling addiction. And in studio, if you remember, we had Joseph Kamau, the chairman of Gamhelp, which is under the East Africa Center for Responsible Gambling. Now, Joseph, before we digressed, we were having that conversation, and you mentioned, we talked about a lot really, but since its inception, as you mentioned, 2018, that's like 2 years ago, what kind of challenges have you guys been facing? Is it more about perception issues, or or are there other issues that you guys have been facing in your aim as you try to treat and promote responsible gambling?
Yes, I would say we've had a problem with managing the rehab due to financial constraints. And this is because the people that should be partnering with us, most of them have a negative attitude towards responsible gaming. And for companies, the operators that have been in the industry for long, that is outside Kenya, most of them at least, they value responsible gaming. But again, for firms that are Kenyan based, most of them see us as part of the government. They don't see us as a critical partner in their business. So since launch until 2019, we were funding the rehab on our own pockets. And we got the first partner in 2019, the end of 2019. They've been helping us until now. We've recently got another partner. So we believe this is actually a positive thing, and we hope that in the future we'll have all the resources that we need to help people. We have people that reach out to us, and because we are resource constrained, we don't have enough number of therapists for the call center. So we have to reschedule them. We have to attend to them on a later date. Or if there are suicidal cases, sometimes we have to refer to other partners such as Red Cross. But yes, that's it.
Okay, so would it be right to assume that, because would it be right to assume that the partnership is more like, just same as it's similar to, let's say, a partnership between a certain betting firm and let's say a certain football club or a certain volleyball club? Is it the same as in same terms in regards to financial assistance and whatnot?
Yeah. Now, for our partners, they usually support us financially. We have to remain independent. So we don't have to follow a certain, we don't have to follow their rules. There are no set rules to what they give us. They assist us financially, and then we do what we do independently. So I wouldn't say it's similar to the sports partnership. Yeah.
And are you guys working with the government in any way? Because of course we've had the government campaigning, campaigning against,
Yes.
gambling, really saying that, people should learn to, better, let's say safely, or avoiding addiction and whatnot. So are you in any way maybe working with the government?
Yes, we are in talk with the Betting and Licensing Control Board, and we are exploring ways in which we can work together, and we're hoping that will materialize soon. The Gaming Bill 2019 states has a part where it talks about responsible gaming, and it makes it a requirement for all operators to partner with the non-profit that offers responsible gaming. We're hoping we'll be that implementing partner for most firms, given that for now we are the only specialized responsible gaming firm. Yes.
Okay, and now the year is coming to an end, of course, today being the 14th. We have 16, 17 days to 2022. And would it be fair to assume that maybe you guys have been quite busy considering the impacts of COVID-19 and, the whole issue of people, some losing their jobs,
Yes.
some not having enough to take care of their families? Would it be fair to assume that maybe COVID-19 has also, impacted the number of cases, the number of patients that you guys have been treating?
Absolutely. We've received a lot of people or a lot of gamblers coming to us and asking for help. And I believe this is, as you've said, as a result of the economic repercussions of the COVID-19. And again, the lockdowns, people are at home, they have nothing to do, they're not going to work. So you'll find a lot of people venturing into gambling. So I would say we've had an influx of clients, but again, due to resources constraint, we still not managed to operate to capacity. Yes.
Okay, now maybe a parting shot as we move forward to 2022, the initiatives that we should be looking forward. Maybe you can tell us which areas are most, let's say, prone, which members, because I do understand that even in region-wise, there are some that, gambling is experienced more than, than the others.
Yeah.
So maybe any future initiatives and, for the caravan, for the gambling, responsible gambling education, where it will be going next.
Yes. For now, we are very keen on underage gambling. We want to come forward as an organization that does research and prevents underage gambling. We will be launching a tool in the near future that will help parents monitor the activity in their children's phones. And we're hoping this one will help a lot because, again, according to studies that have been done in Kenya, underage gambling is very high. And again, with COVID-19, a lot of young people are using phones because most people are taking education online.
Yeah.
Again, this has led to an increase in underage gambling. So we're hoping to pay a lot of attention in that area in 2021. Again, we also want to intensify our campaigns. We want people to know out there that we are here to help and we are ready to help. And we also want more partners to come and join us. We're hoping that 2021 will be a year that will bring a lot of change in the area of responsible gaming.
Okay.
Yes.
And now maybe, because I do understand even parents will be or are supposed to be part of the solution, because as you mentioned, even what you're focusing on at the moment is underage gambling.
Underage gambling.
So maybe parting shot to the parents, of course, and how, of course, citizens can reach your organization for treatment in case of, in regards to gambling addiction.
Yes.
Just on that camera.
Yeah. Now, this is to the guardian and to the people that feel that like their gambling behavior is getting out of hand. We are ready to help. We have a 24/7 toll-free hotline. That is 0800 000 023. You can call us. We'll do an assessment and we'll see the best approach to help you. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Joseph Kamau. Thank you for the time, and of course that was quite an insightful, conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And for the viewers, besides, of course, the hotline numbers and where to text, you can also visit their website just in case you know of someone who could really use their help as the country tries to promote, responsible gambling as well as end gambling addiction. Well, that's it for our first segment. But don't go too far, because when we come back, we'll be reviewing what happened over the weekend here in Kenya. Of course, the Kenya Premier League entered Game 3. We shall be talking about that. We shall be talking about international football, the EPL, and most importantly, the world of football. Football fans today are awaiting the Champions League round of 16 draw as well as the Europa League. Always send us your feedback on the show and your comment on our social media platforms. On Facebook, KBC Channel 1, same as Twitter. Twitter's at KBC Channel 1. You can tweet me personally at Munga_Mbatia. See you shortly.